There was a time I believed the heaviness in my legs was just part of getting older, something I had to accept quietly. But then I began to ask deeper questions. Why did standing from a chair feel harder than it used to? Why did a short walk around the garden leave me feeling drained? If you're over 60, perhaps you've asked yourself the same. You see, what we often label as old age is sometimes the body's gentle way of telling us it's missing something essential. And the truth is, small shifts, especially in what we feed our bodies, can make a lasting difference. In today's video, I'll walk you through the 6 most important vitamins for maintaining strong, steady legs well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. If this resonates with you, tap that subscribe button, type the number 1 in the comments to let me know you're here, and feel free to share your own journey. Let's begin, because your strength still matters. There's a quiet moment that comes in every aging journey, a moment when we realize it's not just about aches or slower mornings, but about the small freedoms we no longer feel steady doing. For many, it begins with something as ordinary as stepping off a curb or reaching for a pot from the top shelf and sensing a loss of balance, a hesitation that wasn't there before. This isn't just about muscles or joints wearing down. Often it's about something much simpler, something the body has stopped producing in abundance, and that's vitamin D. In many seniors across the United States, especially those over 70, vitamin D deficiency is silently widespread. It doesn't matter whether you live in a cloudy city in the Midwest or a sunny town in Arizona, because as we age, the skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight, even when exposed. Combine that with reduced time spent outdoors. Due to mobility issues, medications that increase sun sensitivity, or concerns about skin health, and it's easy to see why this foundational nutrient begins to fade from our system. Yet its absence has very real consequences. Vitamin D does far more than support bones. It is essential for proper calcium absorption, muscle strength, nerve coordination, and yes, balance. When your body is lacking it, even the most basic movements, rising from a chair, taking a step, without stumbling, climbing a staircase, can begin to feel uncertain. And this uncertainty quietly chips away at confidence. You move less, not just because it's harder, but because part of you starts to fear what might happen if you do. But that cycle isn't inevitable. There's something deeply empowering about knowing you can restore what was lost. Not with extreme effort, not with complicated routines, but with steady, intentional nourishment. A simple habit, such as taking a spoonful of cod liver oil each morning, or adding fortified orange juice or eggs to your breakfast, can begin to replenish what the body has been missing. For many older adults, this single addition brings noticeable changes. Fewer nighttime cramps, stronger posture, greater stability while walking, and a renewed ability to do the things that once brought them quiet joy: watering the plants, sweeping the porch, playing with grandchildren in the yard. What's important to remember is that weakness doesn't always signal decline. It can simply be the body's soft plea for better support. And when we listen to that plea with wisdom and care, we give ourselves the chance to walk through our later years with steadiness, strength, and the quiet confidence that we are not fading. We are just learning how to rise again. As we gently move from the foundation of strength, which begins with vitamin D, we now turn towards something equally vital but often misunderstood, something that connects how you think, how you move, and how you feel in your own body. Vitamin B12 may not be talked about as often, but for those of us in our 70s or beyond, its absence can quietly affect our lives in ways we never imagined. There comes a point where the body doesn't respond the way it used to, not just in energy or strength, but in precision. A step feels less certain. A foot drags. A sensation of pins and needles comes and goes without reason. And so many seniors quietly assume, maybe this is just how old age feels. But the truth is, it's often not age. It's the nervous system signaling that it needs help, and B12 is one of the first things to go missing. As we grow older, our ability to absorb this vitamin from food decreases, especially for those taking medications like metformin or antacids, both of which are common in senior care. And without B12, the nerves that communicate between your brain and your muscles start to misfire. The result? You might feel unsteady, mentally foggy, or even emotionally flat. These symptoms often overlap with what we expect from aging, which makes them even easier to overlook. But imagine discovering that the exhaustion you feel when walking to the mailbox, or the subtle imbalance you notice while standing at the kitchen counter, isn't just you slowing down. It's your body asking for a boost. What makes vitamin B12 remarkable is how quickly it can turn things around. For some, adding it back through small daily habits like sprinkling nutritional yeast over eggs or soups, or using B12-fortified cereals with milk, brings new clarity, better balance, and a quiet surge of life in their legs again. Others choose supplements or B12 shots if their levels are critically low. However you approach it, what matters is understanding this. A clearer mind, steadier legs, and renewed energy are not beyond reach. They're not reserved for the young. They're waiting inside the choices we make, even late in life. So if you've been wondering why your steps feel uncertain or your legs sometimes lose their strength without warning, don't rush to accept it as just old age. There is power in awareness, and when you give your body the support it needs, starting with this one essential vitamin, you begin to restore not only movement, but the confidence and peace that come with trusting your own body again. As we continue this journey of rediscovering what helps us move with strength and ease, it's time to talk about something many people overlook, a silent helper working behind the scenes every day. Magnesium may not come up in casual conversation, but for older adults, especially those over 60, it plays a powerful role in how the body feels, moves, and recovers. There's a certain kind of fatigue that doesn't come from activity, but from the absence of support deep inside the muscles. It shows up as heavy legs in the afternoon, cramps that wake you in the night, or a strange sensation of tightness that seems to come and go without warning. These are not just random symptoms. Often, they are the quiet echoes of magnesium deficiency, one of the most common and underdiagnosed issues in aging bodies. For many seniors, especially those managing high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart conditions, medications, and dietary restrictions gradually reduce the body's magnesium stores. And when magnesium runs low, so does the body's ability to regulate circulation, relax muscles, and generate energy. It's like running a machine without lubrication. Everything starts to feel harder than it should. Even walking a short distance or standing up from a chair can take more effort, not because you're weaker, but because your muscles aren't receiving the support they need to do their job smoothly. The good news is that magnesium is both gentle and accessible. It doesn't require major change or complicated planning. It simply asks to be part of your daily rhythm. For many people, something as simple as a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds each day can begin to restore this essential mineral. For others, adding almonds, spinach, or a warm Epsom salt foot soak in the evening not only helps muscles relax, but also gives a sense of calm before bedtime. What matters is not just what magnesium does, but what it prevents. Without it, your legs are more likely to cramp, swell, or feel like they've lost their usual strength. With it, you may notice that you rise more easily in the morning, that your steps feel lighter, and that your energy stretches just a bit further than before. These changes may feel small at first, but they build day by day into a body that feels more supported, more responsive, and more alive. So if you've been wondering why your legs feel heavy without reason, or why your energy seems to fade faster than it used to, it may not be age pulling you down. It may simply be a quiet lack that can be gently restored, bringing circulation back to life and letting your legs carry you forward with more ease than you thought possible. Now that we've explored how magnesium keeps our muscles light and our energy steady, it's time to shift our attention to the hidden architecture beneath all movement, our bones. Strong legs aren't just about muscles. They rely deeply on the stability and integrity of the bones that carry us, and this is where vitamin K2 quietly plays a crucial role. Many older adults have heard for years about the importance of calcium for bone strength. Doctors prescribe it, commercials promote it, and families encourage their elders to take their daily dose. Yet, what's often missing from this picture is guidance on where that calcium actually ends up. Because without K2, calcium doesn't always go to the bones. It can settle in the arteries or joints, causing stiffness, discomfort, or even long-term complications like poor circulation and hardened vessels. Think for a moment about someone who follows all the advice, drinks milk daily, takes calcium supplements faithfully, yet still feels increasing pressure in the knees, or notices their posture stooping over time. It's not a failure of discipline, it's the quiet absence of a nutrient that knows where calcium belongs and ensures it reaches the bones instead of settling where it shouldn't. Vitamin K2 acts as a kind of traffic controller in the body, guiding calcium into the skeletal system and keeping it away from areas that would only suffer from its buildup. And for seniors, this is not just a matter of science, it's a matter of mobility, safety, and quality of life. What makes K2 especially relevant to those over 70 is how subtle its effects are at first, but how deeply they matter over time. It's not just about preventing a fracture. It's about maintaining upright, confident movement, about walking into the kitchen without feeling like your knees will resist, or standing from your favorite armchair without that familiar creaking sensation. The best part is that the sources of K2 are accessible and comforting. Grass-fed butter, aged cheeses, or even small portions of natto, if you enjoy it, can gently support your skeletal system each day. These aren't radical changes, they're quiet additions that help your body work the way it's meant to. So if you've been noticing your legs feel stiff, even when you haven't walked far, or your knees ache despite getting enough calcium, the missing piece may not be what you're taking, but what your body needs to direct it properly. With vitamin K2, you're not just strengthening your bones, you're ensuring that every step you take is supported from the inside out, guided by a nutrient that helps your body move with wisdom, purpose, and quiet power. As we continue nurturing the deeper structure of our legs, it's only natural to shift our focus toward the parts that bend, stretch, and cushion every movement. The joints. These are the quiet connectors that allow us to stand, turn, rise, and walk, often without thinking. But as the years pass, many older adults begin to feel a slow discomfort in their knees, a dull ache in the hips, or a longer recovery time after even the gentlest activity. This isn't always the result of wear and tear alone. Often, it reflects the body's struggle to repair itself, to rebuild what time naturally wears down. And at the heart of this rebuilding process is something we often associate only with immunity: vitamin C. For seniors, vitamin C becomes even more essential, not just to fight off seasonal illness, but to restore what the body depends on for joint flexibility and muscle recovery: collagen. This powerful protein binds tissue together, cushions joints, and supports the very tendons and ligaments that allow our legs to remain stable and smooth in motion. Without enough vitamin C, collagen production declines, and with it the body's ability to maintain elasticity, comfort, and natural recovery. That's why so many older adults begin to feel stiff in the morning or sore long after activity has ended. The joints speak first, then the muscles echo. But this isn't just the cost of aging, it's often the absence of a helper that the body once had plenty of. What's most encouraging is how gentle and enjoyable the solution can be. Adding vitamin C to your day doesn't require a major overhaul. It might look like a tablespoon of acerola cherry powder in your morning smoothie, a bowl of fresh strawberries, or a slice of orange alongside your breakfast toast. And for those with dentures or jaw sensitivity, these can be blended into soft, nourishing drinks that soothe the throat and refresh the spirit all at once. Over time, many seniors who begin adding consistent vitamin C to their diet report waking up with less stiffness, feeling less sore after gardening or walking, and even noticing their knees carry them with more ease. If your joints have been whispering lately, or if your muscles feel slower to bounce back, take a moment to consider whether your body is calling out not for rest, but for restoration. With the right support, your legs can not only stay active, but also recover faster, feel freer, and carry you with a comfort that reminds you of what it felt like to move with ease and lightness. And that kind of freedom at any age is something worth nurturing. As we gently move toward the final piece of this journey, it's worth taking a moment to reflect on how much our legs have carried us through seasons of youth, years of labor, moments of stillness, and stretches of joyful motion. And yet, even when the structure is strong and the joints are cared for, something else often quietly fades: the feeling of liveliness in the legs themselves. That lightness, that warmth, that sensation of energy flowing instead of heaviness settling. For many older adults, this change is subtle at first: legs that feel cold after sitting too long, a need to stop walking sooner than expected, a vague sense of dullness in the lower limbs that can't quite be explained. And while it's easy to dismiss these things as just part of growing older, they're often signals of something deeper: poor circulation. This is where vitamin E quietly steps in, offering not only support but renewal. Vitamin E, often known for its antioxidant properties, does much more than protect cells from damage. It plays a vital role in keeping blood vessels soft, open, and flexible, allowing oxygen-rich blood to reach your legs fully and freely. When this flow is interrupted, by age, by inactivity, or by years of gradual build-up in the arteries, your legs may not get the nourishment they need, even if you're eating well or moving regularly. That's why seniors with poor circulation often describe their legs as heavy, cool to the touch, or prone to swelling after long periods of rest. But this doesn't have to be a permanent state. With consistent, gentle care, blood flow can be supported, warmth can return, and the legs can feel more alive again. Adding vitamin E into your routine doesn't need to be complex. A tablespoon of wheat germ oil drizzled over toast, a handful of sunflower seeds in your salad, or a slice of avocado in your breakfast bowl can be enough to begin restoring that vital flow. Over time, many older adults report that their legs don't tire as easily, that long walks feel less demanding, and that the subtle discomforts of swelling or restlessness begin to fade. Even skin may take on a healthier tone as circulation improves from within. These aren't dramatic transformations, but they are meaningful. They return to you a sense of ease, of movement, of connection to your body that may have felt lost. So if your legs have felt distant lately, as if they're no longer fully part of how you move through your day, consider whether it's not age stealing your vitality, but circulation that simply needs to be gently restored. And in that restoration, you may find not only stronger legs, but a deeper sense of being present, supported, and truly alive in your own steps once again. Strong, steady legs are not a luxury. They are a quiet foundation for independence, confidence, and a graceful life after 70. As we've explored, small daily habits guided by the right vitamins can restore energy, ease discomfort, and help you walk with purpose again. Whether it's improving circulation, supporting bone strength, or rebuilding tired muscles, your body still responds to care. If something in this video reminded you of your own journey, I invite you to share your story in the comments below. Your experience may gently guide someone else toward better health, deeper wisdom, and a more vibrant tomorrow.